And we are live. Hey guys, welcome back again to my channel. Oh, my voice is echo. Guys, can you hear me? Okay, this is better. Okay, guys. Hey guys, welcome back again to my channel. Hope you can hear me from YouTube and Facebook. My name is Dale Goodness, and I'm a registered nurse currently practicing here in Australia. Today we bring you like amazing news from Canada, UK, US, and Ireland. Okay, and hopefully you are going to learn a lot from us today. Nosfela is just joining. I'm going to add that now. So hopefully you're going to learn a lot from us today, but we're just going to start by introducing ourselves and answer a few questions later on. So wait with your questions, but we'll start with what we have to share with you guys today, and hopefully you get something out. So I'll let our guest introduce, starting from Success. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Hey guys, my name is Success. Of course, I'm a registered nurse based in the US, precisely Phoenix, Arizona.
Yay! Naspita.
Hi everyone, my name is Peter Olubayo. I'm a registered nurse in the UK.
Hey! Nasmomo.
Hi guys, my name is Lucinda Momo Sapon, but for the purpose of YouTube, I use the name Nurse Momo. I'm a registered psychiatric nurse in Ireland, and I've been here for 17 months. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you so much. Nasufela, welcome. Can you introduce yourself to my people?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ifeolu Olufela. People call me Nosufela. Yes, I'm in Canada. I'm a registered nurse in Canada. Thank you, Nurse Dio, for having us today.
Guys, thank you so much. Even with the short notice, thank you so much for joining. So we're going to start by just
Sorry,
getting.
let me just say something. Sorry, to viewers at home, I will not be able to use my camera. I have to join this impromptu, so but I will be good to answer questions and all that. I'm not just going to use my camera. Just pardon me for today.
That's fine. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming here, even, so it's fine. Okay, thank you so much. Right, let's go straight to it. I'll ask a question, and everyone's going to answer from their own country point of view. So we're going to start with a requirements to become a nurse in your country. I'm going to start with Nurse Success.
Okay, so it's quite a lengthy process, but for the purpose
So
of
just
this video, I'm
briefly
just gonna
tell us, just briefly,
Okay.
yeah.
So at least, first and foremost, you have to have a license in your home country, diploma or bachelor's degree, as long as you have a licensed registered nursing degree. And then you have to do a credential evaluation with evaluation body, and then you have to do a fingerprint, you have to do a background check, and take the NCLEX. That's the basic.
So roughly how long will it take, the whole process? Just a range.
Okay, so it will take about, to be honest, the fastest I've seen took 4 to 6 months.
Okay, perfect.
You do the process, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Nurse Peter, can you just briefly tell us your own process as well?
All right. In the UK, it's basically, let me say, three requirements. The first one is the English proficiency, which we all know. It has to be band 7 in listening, reading, and speaking, and a 6.5 in writing. And you can also combine, that is for IELTS, so you can combine two results, and in that case, they have to be less than 12 months. And also for OET, it has to be band B for those ones that require band 7 in IELTS and also band C plus in writing. Apart from the English proficiency, of course, you register with NMC, you verify your license with the NMC, and of course, you have to sit for CBT, which is computer-based test in your home country. And when you then pass that one, you'll be invited to write OSCE in the UK.
Okay. Nurse Peter, they are saying your voice is very low. So hopefully try and.
My voice is at the loudest.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
So roughly how long will it take?
To be fair, it depends on how soon NMC can receive your documentation. We are looking at, even if you have your IELTS in 1, 2 months, 3 months, you can get all this done. Yeah, it's very fast.
All right. Thank you very much. Nurse Momo, can we hear you?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
If we can mute ourselves, I think it's echoing.
Should I mute myself as
I
well?
think so. Yeah.
Okay, let me try.
Okay, so for the requirements for Ireland, you also have to be a registered nurse from your home country, and also have to meet the English proficiency test. After you've done that, you can actually start the process with the Nursing Council in Ireland before your English proficiency test, which is the IELTS or the OET. But I always tell people that make sure that you have your IELTS or your OET first, so that at least you have that kind of sound mind when you are going through the NMBI process. From my point of view, I think that is the best. So yes, you have to be a registered nurse, also have your English proficiency test, and then you now have to register with the Nursing Council in Ireland. We call it the NMBI. So after you're done with all that, you now have to look for a job. Okay, so when you're successfully looking for a job and everything, you apply for a visa, and then you come to Ireland to complete your exams. So with the exams, it's either the RCSI or the adaptation. So the RCSI is very similar to like that of the UK, where you have the CBT or the OSCE and then the CBT. Okay, in Ireland we call it the aptitude test and then the OSCE. Yeah, and then in Ireland it's 14 stations. I know the UK is 10, but in Ireland it's 14 stations. But when it comes to the adaptation, which is mainly for midwives, the adaptation is actually for midwives, general nurses, and then psychiatric nurses. Okay, with that, we usually call it the rotation from Ghana. It's just like you working in the clinical setting, okay, under supervision. So when you get your decision letter from NMBI, you can either go for adaptation or the RCSI. So it depends on your employer. And then roughly, I'll say it might be up to a year or more. For me specifically, it was 10 months. Okay, things keep changing. We are hoping that things keep changing and then for the better as well. But overall, it's been better. Yes.
Nosifela, are you ready?
Hi everyone. I don't know. I can't hear the speaker well. So can people hear me well? Because I don't know if it's from my end or the voice.
I can hear you, and I did hear Nosmomo as well.
Catch up. Oh, okay, Miss.
Can you hear me?
But it's okay. I'll try and log out again after this first question. So for Canada, a lot of things have changed. Yes, you have to be a registered nurse in your country. Just that because Canada is not a country that sponsors nurses, nurses have to be the one to determine their immigration plan to Canada themselves. So for Canada, you need your immigration plan and you also need your licensure plan. So for your licensure plan, is also dependent on the province you're going to. So for example, if you're licensed in one province in Canada, it doesn't mean you can practice in all the provinces in Canada at that time that you're licensed in one of the provinces. We have 10 provinces here. So you have to, their documentations and their rules, their boundaries in every province, you have to get to know what their boundary is or what their rule is. Then you now transfer your license, if you have one, to that province following that laid down rule or documentations for their licensure process. So simply put, you have to first determine how do I get into Canada? Because if you get the license without having a strong plan of how to practice in Canada without license, you're just going to waste your money. So you want to determine how you want to get into Canada first. Then you want to determine what province am I going to in Canada? Out of the 10 provinces in Canada, which one am I going to? Which one interests me? Because you cannot be licensed in all the provinces. You're going to get drained. It's better you now pick, okay, which are my top 2? From top 2, reduce to top 1, have top 1 first. Then you do the licensure process of that province, and then you can transfer to other provinces as required. So basically that's it for now. A lot of things have also changed. You might not need English proficiency anymore for now. A lot of provinces are relaxing their rules on that. So you necessarily don't need IELTS to become a Canadian RN at this time. You just have to, like I said, get to know the province you're going to. That's very important.
All right, thank you very much, Nosifela. For Australia, we have like 2 basic routes. The first route is if you're coming from Africa, like you haven't practiced in the UK, Ireland, Canada, New Zealand, or the US, you have to take 2 basic exams. The first one is the NCLEX exam, and the second one is the OSCE exam. So the NCLEX exam is the same NCLEX you know everywhere, but you just have to put your board of nursing to be Australia Board of Nursing, okay? So when you are filling your forms for your NCLEX exam, your CGFNS and all that, you have to make it to Australia. And then when you get here, you have to write the OSCE exam, which is like the same with the UK, where you do your practical, answer all those questions. So that's the one you have to take if you're coming from Africa. And they need you to have like a diploma or degree. They need you to have a license, and you have to have practiced in your home country for like 3 months, which is rounding about 450 hours. So if you do full time, you need 3 months experience. And after that, yeah, basically that's how you do when you're coming from Africa. But if you've practiced in the UK, Ireland, Canada, New Zealand, and the US, basically what you need to do is just to transfer your license, because you've practiced in that country and you've met all their requirements, like you've taken your NCLEX before coming, or you've taken IELTS, you've taken OET. And you also have to come through the New Zealand route, because it's easier that way. Otherwise, if you come through Australia route, you might have to write all the exams again. But if you come through New Zealand route, which is what I did, it is much easier. You don't have to write any exam. You just have to transfer all your license. So roughly, if you are coming from UK or Ireland, it will take about 6 to 8 months, or if even faster. But if you're coming from Africa, it all depends on when you can get your CGFNS to verify your document and all that. It can even take up to a year if you're coming from Africa. But yeah, that's roughly the whole process to come here as a registered nurse. Okay,
Sorry,
so we'll go back.
Sorry,
Yeah.
for the purpose of this section, so no one misunderstand me, the 4 to 6 months was just until you get your authorization to test. Because as we all know, the only place NCLEX is taking in Africa is in South Africa. So you have to figure out your visa plan, your accommodation, taking the test. And then after that, that's when you now start looking for a job. And immigration can take as long as possible. I don't have a time frame for that one, but anywhere from 1 year. So total of the whole process is minimum is 2 years. So that's just to wrap up that section. Sorry.
Yeah, and it's same with Australia as well. It depends on how quick you can get to your NCLEX center, because NCLEX is not, as she said, it's not in Nigeria, Ghana. You have to travel to South Africa, or some people are even going to Brazil of recent to write it. So it all depends on how fast you can do that as well. Okay, so I'm going to go over to the next question. So the next question here is, tell us about your specialty, if you have any specialty, the place you're currently practicing in, your experience there, and like just what were requirements going into that role. No success. It's because you are first, like on my screen you are first, so sorry.
Yeah, I know. Okay, that's fine. So I work in the ER.
Yeah.
That's kind of somehow opposite of my personality, because I think I'm calm and cool, but I don't know how I found myself there. So it has definitely toughened me up, and it's a very fast-paced specialty. It's somewhere that you actually have to have the answers and go as quick as possible. So how did I get in? So for the US, unlike Nigeria, where to get into any specialty, you have to do a post-basic degree. In the US, you just need to apply to that unit and work there for a while. And then we also have like board certifications. Like if I want to get certified in emergency care, I have to write the certificate of emergency nurses exam, and I think I'll be qualified to write that after 1 year of practicing. So that's how it works. So if you get a certificate, you can increase your pay and also increase your job scalability. So basically, I started there as a nurse extern, because I moved to the US first before I started the whole US process, and it took me longer than usual. So that's why I had a YouTube channel to explain the process, so people don't make the same mistakes I did. So after I got my NCLEX, my board, Arizona, did not let me practice until after taking 16 weeks of like a nursing refresher course, because I've been out of school for a while and haven't practiced. So during that period, that was when I applied as a student nurse. So we call it nurse extern. So I was doing the same thing as nurses, just that I was under a nurse and I wasn't able to sign off anything unless the nurse signs off. So I think that was why it was easier to get in, because for the ER, mostly they require experience and I did not have any. But since I came in as a student nurse, it was easy for me to get into the ER. Total, I work for about 12 hours, 30 minutes to 13 hours a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nosifela, do you want to say anything so you can have a little more minutes to yourself?
Yes. The question now is, where do I work, right? Okay. So
like your specialty and how to get into it.
Currently my specialty, I do all the specialty because I work as a rural nurse. So as a rural nurse, it means that I am in the OR, I'm in the ER, I'm in L&D, I'm the gynae nurse, I'm the adult nurse, I'm the pediatric. So yeah, that's how it works in rural environments. You have to know everything. You have to be able to do everything. So I have a lot of orientations right now, a lot of trainings that I do because I have to fit into every department part time. So it means that somebody can come in now and is L&D. I have to be able to receive them. Somebody can come in now and is ER. I have to be able to receive them, right? So for me right now, but I work in acute care right now. That is my major department. However, I am in all the departments in the unit as well. So, but for now, I'm in acute department, and there is nothing much to get into the acute department because as a general nurse, I can fit into that. I don't need any special training for now.
Okay.
I have it. I need special training, right? But not like it's part of the requirement to get in because I just applied. I had zero experience when I applied and I got the job. So it's just basically because they know that they're going to put you through some trainings. So for example, next year I have some perioperative trainings to do. So it's a whole lot of it, but there is no special thing you need for now to get into the acute care in Canada. Just have to apply to the job and tailor your resume to suit what you have, and then you learn on the job. And as you learn, you can now pick a specialty that interests you the most and decide to specialize in that. But I am not one person. I'm not a one thing person. I like to be an all rounder. So I think it fits my personality at this time to be everywhere. Than I get bored when I do one thing over time. So basically, that's it.
Okay. So like how many patients would you take care of a day, like nurse patient ratio at a time?
Total on my unit, sometimes they can have like 22 total on units. Then not for me, I can have 4 to 5. It depends on the assignment. So the assignment now depends on the nurses we have on the unit. So for example, if we're expecting 5 nurses a day and 2 turns up, then that means you can take up to 11 patients for you alone. Yeah. So it depends on how many nurses decide not to call in sick in a day. Because if they decide to call in sick, you have to take care of their patient regardless. So, but the last time I worked, I had 4 clients because nurses were generous enough to turn up at work. So I don't know what will happen the next time I'll go there. But so
Okay.
that's how we do. That's how we. The only thing I think I kind of find not too interesting about Canadian RN nursing is that some of our sites we don't have healthcare assistants, or some of the site, not all the site. So the nurses have to fit into doing those role of healthcare assistant, bathing, cleaning them up, poo and all that. And it's not one of those things I enjoy doing. I like to do my core nursing duties. Don't bring extra garbage for me. But of course, I don't have a choice, so I do it regardless. So that's just one of the things I don't really like about the rural setting as well, because it's rural. A lot of people don't want to come and work here because of it's not a big town and all those things. So we have less staff. So if you're going to work in the rural area, you're going to learn a lot, yes, but you're going to work a lot, yes. So that's the only thing I kind of don't find too interesting, but I'm adapting to it one day at a time. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nosofela. Okay, let me just talk about mine because what she said relates to mine a little. So let me just talk so that we'll round that up. So for me, I'm in Australia and I work in the anesthetic department as a registered nurse. And we have one-to-one, of course, it's surgery. You can't have more than one patient at a time. So it's always one-to-one. And nursing here is generally, if you work in the ward, that's why I want to talk now. If you work in the ward setting, some states, like we also have states in Australia, and some states don't have healthcare assistant. So basically, you as the nurse, if you go to some states, you have to do everything. But the nurse patient ratio here is like 1 nurse to 5, 6. The max is 6 you have, okay. But if you go to some states, they have a ratio to give you only 4 patients at every time. So if you're in medical or surgical, but in surgery, ICU is always 1-to-1. And for me as an aesthetic nurse, you need to have gone to a postgrad course. Like it's like in Australia, it's like 1 year, but I did mine in the UK for like 6 months before you can go into this role. So yeah, basically that's it for us. But for general wards, you don't need any. You need to have the 450 hours, of course, of experience, but that's just it. But for specialty area, they need to have like 1 year graduate course in that specialty before you can start working. But the good thing is if you worked in US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, UK, and you have that experience, they really recognize it here. So that's one thing that's helped me transition into anesthetics here as well. So yeah, no small more.
Sorry, please, not small more before you speak. Sorry. So somebody said something in the comment section. I just want to react to that. I think Nurse Success mentioned that she wasn't allowed to practice or something. So somebody was asking if they will have to go back to Nigeria. Maybe you can talk more on that later, but I just want to share the Canadian part of the experience. So in Canada, there's something we call currency of practice. So if you are in Nigeria, say when you get to Canada or when you get to anywhere else, you couldn't practice immediately, and your practice is elapsed more than 3 years, then most provinces might not be able to allow you become Canadian RN because that's more than 3 years. So a lot of them have what we call 3 years gap. Even if you're going to have gap, it should not be more than 3 years. Some have 5 years. So if you have 3 years gap, some of them will tell you to go back to Nigeria to get your practice hour updated, then come back to apply as Canadian RN. Yes. So it's one of the videos I intend to do this week to sensitize people, because I have people, they come to me, and by the time we check their status and everything, they can't apply to Canada anymore because it's past 3 years. Some are past 5 years gap in practice. So if you want to do anything Canada, you must make sure you are doing that 3 years. You have to put that 3 years gap into your like subconscious so that they don't tell you to go back to Nigeria. To some of them have programs you can do, like re-entry programs. They now have them now in Canada, that you will be paid for it, but you can't work as RN. You're going to work as graduate nurse. They'll train you and all of that. Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay,
ma'am.
let me quickly answer the question. I'm so sorry.
No, 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 perfect.
Okay, so mine, I think US is state by state. Every policy is state. So for Arizona, it was a 2 years gap. I had more than a 2 years gap of practice. I didn't practice nursing for 2 years from after, like, even though I have 10 years after graduation, but as long as I didn't practice for 2 years before I got their license, that's why they made me do it. And we don't have to travel to Nigeria. It's done here. It's a 16 weeks course with about 4 days or 5 days of clinical, total of 30 hours of clinical demonstration lab and all of that, just to reintegrate us back into the system. And for non-special ratio, I just recall I didn't answer that. Generally, for my hospital in the wards is 1 nurse to 6 patients when they are really short-staffed. But I think it should be about 1 to 5, but it's been mostly 1 to 6. Then in the ER, because I work in a level 1 trauma, it's divided into section. So we have the trauma region, which we call the red zone. We have the yellow zone, and we have the green zone, which is more like an in and out zone. So the green zone is like 1 to 6. The green zone level 2 is like 1 to 5. The yellow zone is like 1 to 6 or 5. Then the red zone is 1 to 4. And then our ICU, I think, is 1 to 2. But my hospital is crazy.
Okay, guys, I just want to put this out here. We are all YouTubers, so please, after this live stream, please subscribe to all our YouTube channel. Nos Momo has a channel, Nos Success has a channel, Nos Ophelia has a channel, Nos Peter has a channel. After this live stream, I'm going to put all their link under this video comment section so that you can follow them. They all post like really amazing content in each country they are based. Okay, so you're going to enjoy it. All right, Nos Momo.
Finally. Okay, so me being a psychiatric nurse, I'll say that just like home country, if you're a psychiatric nurse, you can be put in any other ward at all. If I say that we have chronic ward, we have acute ward, we also have like the community section or the intellectual disability section. Okay, so it depends on all of that. So far as a psychiatric nurse, just like Africa, the same applies to this place. So I'll say that with my experience, I think my first 10 months I was in this acute ward, and that I'll say was a bit successful and also quite challenging. But because back home I was from a chronic ward, so coming to an acute ward, we all know how acute ward is. Like it's a bit busy. Sorry, I had a call through my phone.
It's fine.
Sorry, someone is actually calling me through my phone. Forgive me. Yeah, so I had. Sorry.
Do you want Nos Peter to talk so you can go a little and come back?
No, I don't want to answer her. It will take a long time. I should have used my laptop. Forgive me, guys.
It's fine.
So, with my experience, I'll say that it was challenging and also successful as well. Me being coming from a chronic ward and then going to a acute ward, you know. Next, Peter, please go ahead. 1 minute, sorry.
Okay, so Nos Peter, please.
All right, so I've been on the same ward for like 4 years now, and if you understand how the UK works, you know they keep changing, you know what the ward see, what the kind of patient they see. But it started out as a vascular surgery, and right now we are elective surgery. So I've been in surgeries all my 4 years in the UK. So, and I see nearly all cases, plastic, ENT, you name them. But one of the downside of UK nursing, like every other person has mentioned, is that the regular one. It depends on your trust anyway. But where I work, it's about 1 nurse to 9 patients. So, and sometimes it can even go to 12. But the good thing is that you always have ATAs to work with. Okay, but of course, we are nurses. If anybody, like 2 people, decide not to call me, like Nurse Ofela said from Canada, then you still have to manage. So that's the way it works. But basically, because of people who might want to understand the specialty in the UK, if you are an adult RN, so you either an adult RN or you are, this is the best, honestly. So is either you're an adult
I
RN.
actually can hear you, but people are saying they can't hear you. That's what I'm doing.
I don't know why. So is either you're an adult RN. In that case, you can work in any of these, surgical medical wards, or a mental health nurse. So in that case, you can work in anything mental related and learning and disability. But also under adult RN, you can then specialize along the line like diabetes or whatsoever you want to go into. So the requirement basically depends on which of these 3 broad categories you want to go into, whether it is mental health, learning disability, or adult RN. So for me, I registered as an adult RN, so I can work in medical and surgical wards. In ITU, if it's not like the critical, because they have level 2, level 3. So if it's level 2 patient, you can have like 2 patients to look after. And if it is that level 3, then you shouldn't have more than 1 patient to look after for that shift.
Okay, thank you very much. I think personally, I feel like I prefer to have 10 patients and have the healthcare assistant
Honestly, yeah.
than to be having 6 and then no healthcare assistant. It's always like,
Honestly, I buy your idea, Joe. I like to do my core nursing duty. Just don't give me extra baggage. Don't just leave it. You can give me 30 patients and have healthcare assistant. I love it. Don't worry.
to be honest, me too, because I actually did a shift because my own specialty is anesthetic, but I can work any other place because I have experience in medical and also aged care. So when I did a shift in medical ward, it was like 1 nurse to 6 patients, but I didn't have any healthcare assistant. And I was like, I wouldn't advise anybody, especially if you're coming from the UK. If you're coming from UK, you're already spoiled with that healthcare assistant issue. So if you're coming here, it's always better just have a specialty where you don't have to work in the general ward. That's what I always advise people. But yeah. Okay, can we go back to the next question?
Sorry, I just have to say, I just have to apologize and just come in. Let me just wrap up. I think I didn't finish my question.
Yeah,
When
sure.
it comes to patient ratio, it's just like 5 patients per nurse. Yes, and then about the experience that I said, you can be put either on an acute ward or a chronic ward or a rehabilitation ward. So it's or maybe just a community. So yeah, just that to wrap up. And sorry, so sorry, guys. I didn't mean to go off.
No, that's fine. Okay, next question. Okay, let's talk about the pay for a new grad. Okay, so somebody just coming out from nursing school or someone just relocating to the country, what's the average pay a new graduate nurse will be paid in your state or your country? All right, now success, you're first.
Okay, so as we all know, the US is run state by state, and the richer the state is, the more expensive you made, the higher the pay is. So for Arizona, I'm going to talk about Arizona. The least pay for a new grad or just coming in is about 28 before COVID. Then after COVID is 30 per hour. I'm going to talk per hour, not per year. 30 per hour. So you're going to get between that 30. And then depending on years of experience, it increases to, I think the highest I've seen so far is about 45 per hour in Arizona. But other states, you could get as much as 60 per hour. This is not travel now, like 60, 70 per hour without, 50, 45, So that's what the rate is.
Okay, that's good. No small more.
Okay, so just to say that in Ireland, you are being paid based on your experience. I just want to establish that fact. So if you are a newly graduate, you might get over 31,000 euros per annum. Okay, so if you are going to the HSC, which is the government sector, that's the amount that they usually use. They have the pay scale for that. But for some private hospitals, even though you are newly graduate, you might even get more. So it also depends. So with the HSC, which is the government sector, it's usually fixed. but the private sector might pay you more. Okay, but I've roughly from above 31,000 euros per annum. Yes.
That would be how much per hour, so that we are in the same, because she said in hours, so that everybody can understand.
It might be, I think, from 15, 16 euros,
per
just
hour.
because I haven't done it. Yeah, 16 euros. Let me just say 16. I can do the the calculation now. Peter, you can continue. Then I'll come in.
Okay.
All right. So in the UK, a new grad will be on £28,407, and that should be roughly £14 per hour. But then when you then get to like 4 years experience, it increases every 2 years according to the agenda for change right now. And it also varies if you're in England, Northern Ireland, or Scotland. Scotland pays the highest, but just about 1,200 difference. But the one I mentioned is for England, so roughly about £14 per hour. And the good thing also is that most of the trust, NHS trust, will consider, like mine, considered my years of experience. So I was started about just a spine or 2 spine to the highest level of band 5. So if you put that in perspective, then you could start earning about over £30,000 even as a new international nurse.
Oh, that's good. Really, because it's not all hospitals that really consider years of experience.
Yeah. I came in over 4 years ago, and they did consider my experience in Nigeria.
Okay, that's good. Nosafila, are you ready?
Yes. Salary range, Abby.
Yeah.
Sorry, maybe somebody asked for my face in the comment section. Sorry, I can't show my face today.
It's fine.
I have a lot of things going on, but it's fine. You can hear my voice. You can see my face on my channel. Just look for Nosafila. So yeah, so for salary range for us, if you're working with the government parastatal, and the commonest one or the most famous one here is AHS, Abada Health Services. You get started up as for graduate nurses that do not have the full licensure, they get up to $36 an hour. And for those that are RN already, like you have your full license, you've done NCLEX, $39.21. And they also do something that I really love. So they have something they call recognition of past or previous experience. So for example, I've been a nurse for over 10 years now. If I decide to join AHS today, they would collate everything I have if I am interested. Over that 10 years period, I'll give them the hours, and then they'll grade it. If they grade it, and if they grade mine, I should not be less than a level 9 nurse by now, or level 10. So if they start me off on day 1 on 39.21, by the time they grade me again, I should not get less than $51 an hour from AHS, or $50. Even as a new nurse in Canada, they'll recognize your previous experience, and they will now start paying you based on the fact that you have been a nurse over the years and not just a new nurse in Canada. So you can also use that to scale up yourself. Then for agencies, if you want to work with agencies, those one will pay, because I know I got a job with agency when I was looking for a job, and they offered to pay $70 an hour. But I didn't just want to work with agency. I wanted to have my clinical experience first before I go into agency nursing. So you can get up to that with agency, and they also depend on your employer really. But in Canada, you won't get less than $39.40 as an RN per hour. And also depends on the province. So in Canada, some province pay more than the other. Like if you work in the rural areas in say in the northern part of Canada, some of them can give you up to $55 an hour, even as a new RN that just coming out of school tomorrow. So because that is rural area, and they have premiums that they give you, so it makes your salary go up, and they appreciate the fact that you're coming to work with them, because those places are not developed, right? So they kind of just pay you more, so that it's just like an incentive. So you also get I think they also pay like is it $5 up to $30 a day, or 10? I'm not so sure, but they pay you something per day for living there, for working there, and that's out of your salary. So for Canada, it depends on the province. It depends on, of course, if you're working with government, recognition of past experience, if you're working in agency like that. So, but those are the ranges.
Okay, thank you so much, Nosafila. Okay, for Australia, I'm not even know how to explain now. For Australia, we have so every state pays differently. It's not like universal pay, but I'm just going to give a range. So if you're coming in a new grad, also in Australia, they consider your years of experience. So whatever years of experience, whenever you graduated from your home country, as long as you started working then, even in Nigeria, anywhere you've worked, they'll consider all those years and then place you on the year you are coming in with. So if you are a year one nurse, like level one, you just graduated, the least you get from any state, like the least paying state will pay you like 40, 42. That's the least paying state per hour, Australian dollar. And then there are some states like Western Australia that pays the least they'll pay is like 50 Australian dollar per hour. And then that's just the base rate on that's just base rate for Monday to Friday, and that's like six o'clock to 2 o'clock. So from 2 o'clock in the evening to like 7, they add about $2 more. And then on Sundays, Saturday, Sundays, you can get anything as high as the base rate will be like 50, 55, 60. Like it's just like depends on the state you work, but that's like a range. And there's just loads of benefits, but I'll talk about that maybe later. I will talk about the benefits. But yeah, that's the range you can get per hour. And then if you're a specialist nurse like me, I'm anesthetics, I don't get paid base rate. I get paid more than that for specialty. And if you have a BSc and if you have a master's degree, like if you have a master's degree, for example, you get paid like extra 100 Australian dollar per week for having a master's degree. So you get paid a lot if you have PhD. They pay you per week every, like they just add something for you every week. But yeah, that's just the range for Australian pay. But like I said, it depends on the state and your level of experience. But that's the base rate. Okay, so let's go over to the next thing is tax. We have, or should we talk about the benefits? Let's talk about the benefits. Do you like what benefits do you have working as a nurse in the country you're currently in? Nosofela, do you want to talk so you can have some time to go off a little?
Well, for that benefit, because I'm pretty new into the system, I don't think they may be that I don't really know so much about, but I have not seen anyone that is really like that's really caught my attention. Not that of course you have get your leave and all that, but I've not seen anyone that really like that. The fact that you said Australia they pay you because you have a master's or something, we don't have anything like that here. So basically, I would just say for Canada, I would not really ask anyone to, be keen about the benefits. The only way you can benefit from the Canadian system is when you decide to go extra, be the extra nurse, like maybe you want to work in specialties and all that. Those are the things that can give you keen benefit. Another one would be that the only benefit I think I like is for travel nurses here. So what they do is that they work more. We have more winter months in Canada, so a lot of them they work more in the summer. They work a lot in summer, and then winter they go off. They just go to sleep, go to work, go on vacation and all that. I think I find that fascinating. But other special, like for people that work in acute care, you cannot just take that kind of break. You have to be that you've made a lot of money to take some time off like that. So for benefits, we don't have the one that's really caught my fancy in Canada. Yeah.
Oh, what about maternity leave?
Is that part of the benefit?
Yes, nah. Some
Is
countries
that
there's
part
no
of the benefit?
maternity leave.
Well, we
Oh.
get maternity leave for 1 year, and then you get paid, but of course, it's not your full salary. You should have worked 400 to 600 hours to be able to get that EI. They call it EI, and the government pays you for the whole of 1 year. You can decide to even take 1.5 years, but that means that the money you will take in a month will be lesser. So, for example, if they give somebody that does 1 year, because I think the last time even I was AT or PLW by then. I wasn't RN. I was 1.8. They were paying me 1.8 in a month for staying at home. Yeah. So you so you would get so that means you get like say close to 900 they pay every 2 weeks, and that week they pay another 900. So yeah, so it depends on how much you've worked, your position in Canada at that instance, but you should have worked 400 to 600. Yeah, I think I find that fascinating, but that's not particular to nursing. That's everybody. Even if you're a carpenter
Okay.
in Canada, yes, even if you're a carpenter in Canada and you've worked 400 to 600 hours, you are entitled to getting EI. Your husband too will get paternity leave for I think 4 weeks or up to 6 weeks, and they'll pay him as well. And then he can go back to why you stay at home with the baby. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. Any childcare benefits?
Yes, that is like I said, it's for everybody. So what we have currently what the government calls subsidy right now. So for when I was in Edmonton for Zion, his school fees was about 1,200, 1,003 in a month. So but government pays up to 700 or 800. So all I pay is 500 in a month. because government pays
Oh.
off the rest, to give you that subsidy. But note that in Canada, not every province have access to this subsidy. Like so for places like the rural areas now, some of them, the schools there, they have some schools there, day homes and all that, they are not registered under the government, and because of that, they do not have access to subsidy. So if you move from a big town to a small town, you're going to spend more on childcare, because a lot of them in that small town will not have access to that subsidy because they fail to, register. They don't want to pay more taxes, right? So those are the downside of it. So it moves from province to province. Somebody told me that she pays only $200 a month for childcare in Ontario, but I don't pay
Wow.
that in Edmonton. I pay over 500 for Zion sometimes, depending on what they have to do in that month. So it also depends. Canada is province by province. What province A have, province B they don't have it. So before you move here, find out which province is what I really need at this time of my life and career. So we have those benefits, but it's province dependent. It's not across board.
Thank you so much, Nosfela. No success.
Okay, so the benefit of being a nurse in the US is actually a lot. So starting from career progression, one thing I love is as a nurse you can work anywhere you like anywhere. There's job opportunities so many places, right? Apart from the most glamorous one, which is everyone trying to become a travel nurse when they come here, that's on that. And you can also improve your education. So here it's very straightforward to become a nurse practitioner. They don't even require years of experience. It's just you and your conscience that wants to get that years of experience, because I mean you have to know what you're doing before you become a provider and start prescribing. So you can become a nurse practitioner in any specialty you want, and of course your salary will increase more like double from your RN pay. And it also depends on the state. States that pay more, for example, the nurse practitioners in Arizona might be earning the same thing as RNs in California. I'm just trying to give that example. But
Move,
then, I mean,
move.
for the cost of for the cost of living in Arizona, that pay will be enough for them to sustain. But I mean, so you can either become a nurse practitioner master's level or a doctorate level, which is DNP. That's different from PhD. So DNP is a doctorate level if you want to remain in the clinical route. Then PhD is doctoral level if you want to go into the education route. You're free to get the both, but there's a pathway it's separate. And you can also go from bachelor's directly to a DNP without jumping masters. There are schools that offer that program. So you can get to the peak of your career in as little as 4 years in this country. So that's one very good thing about nursing here. And of course, they recognize every certificate or professional development you take. You can add $1 or $2. We also have clinical ladders, like what you guys call level band 5, band 6 nurse in the UK. In every hospital you work, they would also have like clinical ladder, especially when it's a big hospital. Nurses also work very well in outpatients, in insurance companies, so many places. You can decide you don't want to step your foot into the hospital. You just want to work from home. There's so many work from home jobs, home health, hospice, a lot of that. Case management as well. Then for benefits, of course, the US has privatized everything. So most of our hospitals are privately owned. We don't have NHS or AHS kind of thing. So what I would call a government hospital in Arizona is our Veterans Clinic. So that's the government hospital. And for a year, I think they start at 72,000 per year to 80,000 per year. And they have a lot of benefits. So I'm sure their maternity leave will be generous as well, maybe up to 6 months, or I don't know. But for private, where I work, maternity leave is 6 weeks, my dears. 6 freaking
And that
weeks.
6 weeks is fully paid, right?
No,
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna be paid about 50% of your pay, or 60 thereabout. And so there's also something we call short-term disability. So if you know you're planning to get pregnant or you want to get pregnant, you can sign up for that when you sign up for benefits, and then put in a certain amount of money that you think will sustain you. And then some states also pay for maternity leave. I think California pays maternal and paternal leave, even minus your hospital. I think they still pay. But for my state, I don't think they pay, except you work in government hospital. So if you're in private, you're on your own. So you have to plan for how long you want to do maternity leave. So I asked some pregnant women at my place of work, because I noticed they were taking like overtime, doing taking over shifts when they had the strength to do that. So when you take an extra shift, it actually adds up to your PTO hours, because what you guys call leave, we don't really have leave. We call it PTO, pay time off. So you earn as you, whatever you're working, that's how much you're collating. For example, in 2 weeks, I collate 6 hours. So at the beginning of the year, I'm allowed to use negative 20% of my PTO. But then by, let's say, 6 months, now if you calculate every 6 hours for every 2 weeks I work, that's how much leave I can get in 6 months. And again, it's hospital by hospital, not even state by state. There are other jobs I saw in Arizona that like when in their job application they're like, oh, we have generous PTO, you get up to 24 days per year. Wow. I'm like,
Love it.
that's literally not even up to a month, 24 days per year, but like that's almost a month. So it's every hospital makes their own policy on the amount of PTO they want to give you. And then we also have there's health insurance. So the thing is, once you accept a job, you have to sign up for the benefits you want. The only thing that comes up immediately is PTO is immediately that's all. So you have to intentionally sign up for your 401k, which is like our pension. You have to intentionally tell them how much you want to put in. You have to intentionally sign up for your health insurance and choose the plan you want to put in. You have to intentionally sign up for short-term disability, like every other thing you have to sign up for. So you have to be duly informed, because if you don't know, you might just get the job and just start working. You're not saving up for pension, you're not saving up for health insurance, you're not doing anything. So you have to ask questions and actually get to understand this benefits. So that's a whole long topic for another day, but yeah, these are the benefits.
Sorry, how about your regular annual leave? Do you have aside maternity, do you have regular annual leave?
No, that's what we call PTO. So
the PTO, how long is the PTO in a year? Is it only when you accrue it, that's when you get it? But
yeah,
if you don't
when you
accrue it, you don't get it.
No. So at the beginning of the year, the only thing you can get is up to like you can be just negative 20% of it. So I haven't really calculated to see how much PTO I have. I can calculate it once the next person is talking.
Okay.
But I know it's 6 hours every 2 weeks. So I'll calculate how much that comes up to a year. And if I pick extra shifts, it adds up as well. So that's the thing. So you work for the amount of off you want to get.
Okay. Nurse Momo.
Okay, thank you, Nasdir. With the benefits as a nurse, we also have maternity leave, which is out to 6 months, mostly at the government sector. I know with the private sector, it depends on the hospital, okay? And then when it comes to paternity leave too, I know we have up to 2 weeks for paternity leave. And then we also have child benefits. So with the child benefits, it does not matter if you're a citizen or not. And in Ireland, you get 140 euros per child. So if you have 66 children, you get 140 euros for every child. And then with the maternity benefits, you get paid by the government. And then you also have a welfare payment from the government as well. Social welfare payments, okay, from the government as well. And with that, you have to pay, we call it your PRSI, it's a tax, okay? You have to pay that for like 10 months before you qualify to get that benefit, in addition to what your employer is going to give you. Yeah, and then you also have the leave, I'll say 24 leave days. With my current hospital, I think the starting point is 16 leave days, but then as you progress at the workplace, you get more. But for the government sector, it's 24, which I'm very confident of. And then with the clinical ladder as well, yes, we have different positions that you can equally apply for. And then I always say that with Ireland, I know other countries, you guys were talking about master's degree and all that. Ireland respects experience. That's one thing I really love about Ireland. Your years of experience actually determines your worth. So if you have more years of experience and someone has all the diploma and all the degree and the PhD and masters, whatever, if you don't have any experience, someone who has experience more than you is going to earn more, which I think that is fair. You can never trade anything with experience, please. Yeah.
So someone will go to school for read PhD.
If you like, go to school for 10 years.
So that means
come back.
You
and then you also have the experience for 10 years. I'm going to earn almost 52,000 per annum, and maybe you'll be placed on 30,000. It doesn't mean that you don't have to go to school. You still have to go for your personal development anyway. But I feel like it's something very good. I feel like they're really appreciating those with experience, and I think that is actually right. And then we also have career progression. You can actually go and then further education. You have your degree and all that. I think when you are coming from your home country, if you have a diploma, I think you want to get a degree, it's just 1 year. which is very good. And then I know you also have the PhD and the masters and all that. And you can do that yourself, or your employer can also support you based on your contracts. Okay, based on the contracts you have with them. And then we also have pension as well. You also get pension as well. And then you have salary increments as well. Yes. So I think it's usually yearly. Okay. But at a point in time within a year, it can also be increased again, depending on the employer. Depending on your employer. Yes. If there's anything I didn't touch for benefits, you can remind me. I'll click on that.
Okay. Nospita. Hey, UK benefit. UK benefit. Fear me too much.
I think I forgot to say this. Healthcare is also education is free. But for healthcare, it's up to children up to 7 years. And then I think the elderly, it's also free. But from that, it's not free for most of us. Yeah.
Okay. Nospita.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much, Nozio, for that, beautiful introduction. You have to recognize UK when it comes to that. Yeah, so jokes apart, I think UK is strong on work-life balance, and when it comes to a few bits of the benefits. So let me start with the one I might forget. So clinically, for your career wise, you don't a lot of people don't have to have their master's degree. I'm not sure if the training Nosdale had was sponsored by NHS in the first
It
place.
was.
Yeah, so that's one of the benefits you can get on the job when you work for the NHS. So you can go for a specialist training, you can go for nurse prescriber course, and become a nurse practitioner. And all that, you might not spend any penny, and it will be sponsored by NHS fully. In as much as your aspiration is in line with the NHS plan, if they need an ENT nurse practitioner and you are ready to do that, then the NHS have no choice to sponsor you. I have a friend who is on a band 6, and once he finishes his course, he's going to band 8, and everything he doesn't have to pay anything. So if you have that career mindset, you want to grow, and UK is good on that. Although the money they will pay you at the end of the day might not be that great. Anyway.
Peter, sorry to disturb you, but I think I can barely hear you. Sorry. I don't know if it's from my end.
Yeah, I don't
Me,
know.
I actually can hear him, but everybody under the comment is saying they can't hear.
If you can maybe reposition your phone.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know why. It's at the best level, to be fair. So also annual leave. Like if you start in the UK tomorrow, you are going to get 28 days paid annual leave. And we even have a lot of people, a lot of nurses are concerned these days when they see some pay in their pay slip and it reads, agenda for change absence. Like, why am I paid for my absence? So when you go on leave, they pay you some certain amount of money. So 28 days annual leave in the NHS. Healthcare is free. Healthcare is free except for dental and some cosmetic procedures. Apart from that, generally you have access to because a lot of international nurses will come in with on a skilled worker visa, so you are only allowed about 15 hours free childcare support for your childcare. But if you have your permanent resident, that increases to 30 hours. What else can I talk about? There are so many. NHS pension is also big. It's different from private pension in the sense that in private pension, you are contributing to a pot, and you will only be paid based on what you have in the pot. But in NHS pension, that's why some people would stay with NHS forever. That money cannot finish. They will keep paying you whatsoever they start paying you forever. It's not a pot that will ever finish. So we've talked about childcare, and you can vote, right from day one that you enter the UK. Yeah, I think if I remember anything, I'll talk about it later.
Okay,
Thank you so
sir.
Maternity leave is 1 year.
Is
Maternity
1 year
leave
fully paid for?
No, it's not fully paid for in terms. I think the first half you are going to get your full pay, almost like your full pay, and the other half you are going to get like half of it. So some people still want to just do like 6 months and come back, but that's up to them. And also paternity leave is there. I think that is 2 weeks, which is also paid.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
So I calculated it. It's about 13 days in a year. Remember, we work 3 days a week, so that came up to about 4 weeks a year of pay time off if you work every day of the
Oh, but
year.
that's not bad.
Yeah. Now, if you do overtime, it's accused, so you probably get more. And then for childcare, we don't have any childcare benefits. If you have a child, you find a way to take care of the child. Like, but for school, children's school, I think it's free for the most part. Until like the whole elementary school is free. I think even some, if you take them to like a public school, I mean like general what's it called, community schools up to secondary school is also free. You just get to pay for if you have school bus or like feeding weekly. I think for a friend of mine that have a child, for a week she was just paying about $20 for food to feed the child once a day in school. It was totally free.
Okay, so we are already running out of time, so I'm just going to summarize mine. So for Australia, if you come in as a permanent resident, as a nurse, you have your employer. Okay, I'm talking about my own employer. I don't know for every other employer, but as a nurse, with I get paid 18 weeks, 16 to 18 weeks annual leave. Okay, but you must have worked for your employer for 1 year, but that's with your employer. Then the government itself, if you're a permanent resident, if you've lived in Australia for 2 years, you get paid 20 weeks maternity pay. Okay, so that's, you calculate 20 weeks plus 16 or 18 weeks, that will give you up to like a whole 1 year paid. Okay, but the government pay is not what you get as a nurse, is minimum wage. Okay, that's about $880 per week. That's what the government will pay, but your own employer will pay you full pay for 18 weeks. Okay, then it depends on your years of service to them as well. That increases. And then we also have our own annual leave. That's not maternity. We get like 6 to 7 weeks paid time off or annual leave, as you call it. And also we have the accrued days off. So if you work full time, which is like 38 hours per week, you get 1 day off every month. So you can add those 1 day off every month and make it your annual leave. So some people even get like 8 weeks annual leave every year that is fully paid. Okay, so that's with your own arrangement. For childcare, if you're a permanent resident, we have childcare benefits. You get subsidized childcare. I really don't know how much, but it's a significant amount every month for your childcare. So other benefits, we have what we call superannuation, which is the pension as well. Everybody has that. So there's something called salary packaging in Australia. So when you are a registered nurse, if you work for the government, you have 9,000 every year that is not taxed. That is aside the normal tax we get. Okay, so 9,000 every year is not taxed, and for some hospitals they make it up to 15,000. So it depends on how the hospital you're working with. Benefits as well. You can go to school here for free. Your children go to school for free from kindergarten to before university level. So that's like if you're a permanent resident, and also you can, like me now, I can enroll for university and get scholarship because I'm a permanent resident. So I can go do my specialty, do masters, do PhD for free if I apply through my state because I'm working with a state hospital. What other benefit? With paternity leave as well is 2 weeks fully paid. What else for Australia? Yeah, basically that's what we get in Australia as registered nurses. I'm trying to round up because of time. Okay, so what else do we have? How many years does it take to get? Nurse Mama, are you still with us or you want to go?
No, yeah, talk. I'll just answer the next question.
Okay, so how long does it take to get PRO in your country, Nurse Mama?
5
Like
years.
permanent residency and citizenship.
For permanent residency, it's 4. Then citizenship is 5 years.
Okay, thank you. Nurse Mama, if you really want to go, you can just say your last words and go because I know you
Let me
have to.
confirm, then I'll get back.
Okay,
I don't want to distract you. Yeah.
Okay. Nurse Phil, are you here? Okay. Nurse Success.
So you
How
come
long
in
does it
with
take to
okay. You come in with a green card. So that's permanent residency. It's valid for 10 years. But then after 5 years, you can apply for citizenship.
Okay. Nurse Peter.
If you come here as a skilled worker, like most of the nurses, you have to stay on, that visa for 5 years. and then you qualify for indefinite leave to remain, which is like permanent residency. But after then, you just have to stay in the UK for 1 year, then you become a citizen. So in total of 6 years.
Okay. Nosfela? Okay, let me talk about mine. So for Australia, you can come in with PR. Okay, like I did come in with a permanent residency visa. So I then have to stay in Australia for 4 years and then I'll become a citizen. I can apply for citizenship. But if you don't come in with PRO, you can literally get PRO anytime you come here. So it's when you meet the requirement, you can apply for it and get it. You don't have to stay here for any amount of years or anything to get PRO. But for citizenship, you have to stay in Australia for 4 years before you can get your passport. Okay. So yeah, that's it for me. The next question
Can I
here
chip
is
in something?
yeah.
Yeah, so with Ireland, when you come in as a nurse, you get to work with your employer for 2 years. That's how our contract is. So after the 2 years, you get what is called a stamp 4. So with a stamp 4, you can now work with 2 or more employers. Then after that, you have 36 months for you to get your citizenship. Okay, but before then, you have your indefinite stay before you can now apply for your citizenship. Okay, so the journey to get your citizenship is just 5 years, but the stamp
Okay,
4 is just 2 years. Yeah.
that's good. I realized we didn't talk about tax, which is very important. Please, I know we want to go, but Nosmomo, can you tell us how
Yeah.
much tax you get from your salary? Because at the end of the day, if you get so much money and your tax is really bad, it's almost
Yeah.
like not.
So for Ireland, when it comes to taxation, anything up to 40,000 per year is taxed at 20%. And then any amount that adds up to the 40,000 per year is taxed at it's taxed at 20. The first one is 20%. Then anything above 40,000 is taxed at 40%. So assuming your contract is 45,000 euros per year, or 50,000 euros per year. Okay, you get 40,000 taxed at 20%, and then the extra 10,000 is now taxed at 40%. So
Thank
it's
you very
very simple. I have a video. Let me just chip this in. I have videos on all these things we are talking about, just for those who want an in-depth information about this whole thing. My channel is there. You can just watch some of these videos, and then you have all the information.
Okay, I'm going to put all the links of everyone's channel as well. No success, tax.
Sorry, I didn't even know my mic was on all this while. Okay, so for tax, we don't have any set percentage according to what you earn. It's according to the state. A state that is more developed city like will take more taxes. New York takes more taxes. California takes more taxes. So for Arizona, we have several taxes. We have federal tax. We have Medicare, Social Security, and Arizona taxes. State like Texas don't have state tax. They only take federal tax, Social Security, and Medicare. So the federal tax, so I added all of them together. I couldn't separate it to do the percentage. So I had to do a whole calculation here. So after calculating all the tax deduction from a paycheck, it was about 19% deducted. And then I usually put in 6% of my paycheck into my 401k, which is my like pension, because the company matches 6%. So I put only 6%. So that's 19% plus 6%. So my deduction is 25% limit taxes and pension, if you want to call it that way.
Okay. Nosfela, are you ready?
Yes, I have to leave pretty soon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. You can even round up if you want.
For let me quickly talk about the citizen one, because taxes is I know what I usually like to talk about too much. So for you have to wait if you come in as a PR, it's just 3 years. You stay in Canada for 3 years and then you can become a citizen. You can become PR anytime, just like Australia. You can become PR anytime, but citizen you have to be in the country for 3 years before you can end that. Then for the taxes, I know we have federal, we have provincial, and yes, taxes in Canada also depends. Hang on, please. Taxes in Canada also depend on your where you stay, like the province that you live. So some provinces are more expensive than the other, and the tax some provinces other than the other. Like in Toronto now, you pay a lot more taxes than even in Edmonton and the rest of it. So for taxes, I also have a video on the channel. There are not things I like to talk about too, because personally it just pains me, because they take all these taxes and you're like, how much did I earn? How much did I make? So yeah. But yes, we do have substantial and just like somebody mentioned the bracket, we also have a bracket in Canada. I invited a tax specialist one time to the channel. If you can watch that video, you're going to learn a lot about the taxation system, even childcare in Canada, a whole lot of things. Yeah. So what
Okay.
else do you want me to talk about? Just perhaps
Just last words for anyone coming to Canada.
Okay, yeah, my last word will be that if you are coming to Canada, just like I said, you have to, the province that you are going is very important to your life and your career. So for Canada, selecting a province is not just what I want to do because Nosofela is in Abada, I want to go to Abada. No, you have to select a province that is going to, foster your growth. That is very important to that stage of your career at that moment. So the province you decide to settle in Canada as a nurse matters a lot to your career progression and how well you'll be paid, how well you can advance, how well you can become Canadian RN on time. I didn't become Canadian RN until 3 years after I migrated to Canada. But it is now easier, things are getting easier now. So because my province was one of the toughest. Abada was one of the toughest provinces before now, but now a lot of things are changing and it's one of the easiest now, honestly, if you want to get your Canadian RN license. So pretty much then, of course, Canada is cold, but you won't die.
You will die, you.
We have up to 7 to 8 months of winter, and we have the rest summer. So we are always cold here. But it's okay, you're going to live the life. And that's why I said you have to plan your life. So, like, if you want to specialize on time so that during the summer you work and you work less in winter, it's not easy to work in winter. It is very, very tough. Very, very tough. Especially if you do 12-hour shift and you have to wake up by 5 a.m. to get to work at 7. It's so tough. The road is slippery, a lot of accidents, but yes.
Thank you so much, Nosofela. Thank you for your time.
time.
Last one before you go. So this is like a question you don't really have to answer, but
Okay.
if you are to leave Canada now, which country will you ever go? I know you will not leave, me. I know you are settled, but just like if you ever would have a chance to leave Canada, where would you go?
Oh, I can leave. Oh, the only thing is that my husband is not that person that loves to explore around. He's someone that likes to just, okay, this is my own. Me, I like to be all over the place. So if I want to leave, I'll come to Australia now. Let me come and collect money.
Thank you so much, Nosofela. You can go now. I love you so much.
I love you too, Nozio. Thank you so much, Nospida. Thank you, No Success. I hope to meet more of you. Are they on Instagram? I'll ask you for their handle so that we can,
Yes, I'm going to tag all of them.
Yes. Thank you so much, amazing nurses. Bye. Nozio, thank you so much. You are doing wonderfully great on YouTube. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Bye-bye. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. She had to go. I think I've removed Nosmomo. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Nosofela has children. She really had to just take a little time to come. So I had to let her go on time, okay? So, yeah. Thank you very much. Nosmomo, do you want to go?
Yeah, so I can also say mine and then...
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the question, sorry, I was not following.
Oh, so you've talked about tax. So we're just talking about what advice do you have for people coming? What's the weather like in Ireland and your final words?
Okay, with the weather, I'll say that they should expect all the 4 weathers in a day. Okay, because in Ireland, in a minute it will be raining. The next minute it's sunny, and then in the next minute it's very cold, like winter. And so it's like you get all the 4 seasons in a day. Sometimes it's very depressing, if I'll say. But anyway, it's worth it. Sometimes it kind of rains all the time. Mostly it rains a lot in Ireland, but it's a very beautiful country, and I love the place. I love the people. I love their culture. They are so lovely, and I'll urge everyone to come. I know sometimes the process is a bit tough, but the NMBI process has really improved a lot. I think last year you have to take like 8 to 1 year to get a decision letter, but now you can even take like 2 weeks or 3 weeks to even get a decision letter. So that has really improved. The only thing that is really fighting us now is the red list. Okay, that is where the issue is. But I still tell people that they don't have to give up. They should still go ahead, and then you just have to be positive. It's the same as the UK as well, but you have to keep applying. So I tell people that now don't apply to agencies, just apply directly to hospitals. That's why I tell people. I know it's not easy. It's not like I'm just sitting down here and telling people just apply. It's not easy, but you still have to be optimistic about the whole thing. It's about your future. Nothing good comes easy. So I tell people that Ireland is a very beautiful country, and I've never regretted being here over 17 months. I still love it, and I encourage everybody to come. And I feel like, seriously, I know the US is good. You are being paid much, but Ireland also pays really well. So please come, please come.
You are selling your market.
Yeah, market my country. When it comes to me leaving Ireland, I don't even know. I haven't decided yet. Sincerely, I haven't decided yet. But maybe it will be between Canada and maybe Australia. But maybe Canada will be my first country. But I'll just come to Australia to come and see you. Right? I'll
All
just come
right.
to
Thank you
Australia
so
to come
much,
and
Dr.
see you.
Momo. If you want to go, you can go now. Okay. Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much,
I love
guys.
you.
Thank you. And so sorry, but yeah, that had to.
No,
That
it's fine. I understand.
to.
Time now money. Time now money.
I know someone was asking if I have a Facebook page. Yes, I have a Facebook page. I just opened it recently. It was my sister Nesdio that actually advised me. So it's also
Me, I'll tell you. Open, open and make your money.
and I'll be having a live session very soon with Nesdio as well. So you guys should also look out as well. And thank you so much, Success. It's a privilege having to meet you and Peter. Thank you so much, guys. I love you all. Thank you, Nesdio. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye, darling.
Okay. 3 of us. Does anybody want to go? Yes, we have time.
I'm still here.
We still
No,
have
Peter.
appointment after.
Yeah.
I'm
fine.
fine.
Do you want us to round up?
No, it's fine.
Okay. So
yeah,
where
I
were
think
we?
we've not talked about the tax and a few other things in the UK.
In UK. And
Yeah,
Australia.
and I hope people can hear me better now. So in the UK, for the first £12,570 that you make, you are not taxed. So that is 0%. However, anything from that one to 50,270 or thereabout, you get taxed 20%. And this is within this range. This is where most nurses actually fall into in your career, except you go into agency or you want to become a band 8 director of nursing and all that. So you usually just have to pay 0% on the first 12,570 and also 20% on the rest, up to 50%, up to 50,000. So anything you earn above 50,250, you are going to be paying 40% on that. And for people who earn, like, I think over 150,000, then you start paying 45% on anything above that 150K. Okay. Yeah, so I think there are other things we need to talk about.
Yeah. So for Australia, let me mute. Okay. So for Australia, the tax bracket from 0 to 18,000 per annum, you pay 0 tax. From 18,000 up to, I think, 45, Abby? Yeah, 45,000, you pay only, how many? Sorry, guys, I'm not so good with this now. 19%, okay? So 19% if you earn from 18 to 45. Then from 45 to 120, you pay 32.5% tax. And then from 120 to 180, you pay 37% tax. Now, the tax is not, you're not taxed the whole amount, okay? So for example, 0 to 18,000, you pay 0 tax. Then anything you earn from 18,000 up to 45, that is when you pay 19% on the new amounts. So still, even if you earn 60,000, your first 18,000 is tax-free. But from 18,000 up to 45 will be 19%. And then, like I said, 45 to 120 is 32. But the highest you can ever be taxed is 37. But like I said, it's additional amount of anything you earn. So yeah, that's the tax for Australia. Okay, so after tax, what else? Any advice for anyone coming to US or UK?
Okay, I think you asked the weather, right? So,
yeah, the weather.
Yeah. So again, it's different across the states. So Arizona is one of the hottest states, followed by I think Florida also. So we're majorly always hot, like smoking hot, not Nigeria hot. Like this is hot.
Hotter than Nigeria, right?
Yeah, Nigeria is never hot compared. Like sometimes during the heat of summer, our tires get burnt. car tires get burnt. It could burn the Dunlop sleeper. That's how hot. We have lots of people coming to the ER for heat stroke, sent to the ICU. That bad. We have burn, sunburn, and all of that. But it gets cold. So Arizona, we always say we have just 2 seasons, the hot and the cold season. So now we're getting really cold, like really, really chilly. But then the East Coast region of the US are the coldest states, which is like Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and all of that. So for advice for anyone coming to the United States, I would say pace yourself, do everything you have to do at the right time, seek the right guidance and counseling. Don't be too in a rush, because right now there's like a backlog of immigration. So don't beat yourself up, handle what you can handle, and then leave the rest for the things you cannot handle. Also, what else? I don't know. If anything comes to my head, I'll say it while he's talking.
Okay. Noskita, weather and advice.
Yeah, for UK weather, we have 4 seasons: winter, spring, autumn, and summer. So, it just varies across. But you can actually wake up in the morning and the sun is out, and before you know it, it's becoming very cold. So you can experience the 4 seasons in a day. But of course, you have that period of time where we call winter, we call summer. Right now, we are in autumn, where it is pretty cold, about 6%. So, but if you want to look at which region of the UK to go to, don't forget that UK is, 4 countries actually: Northern Ireland, England, Scotland, and Wales. So a lot of people think England is the UK. But, so I'll just advise on England now, where I also live. So in England, the northern part, where you have Durham, Coventry, I think, and few other ones of them like that, they are coldest in England. And the moment you come to the east and to the south, it gets warmer. Okay, so if you are looking at weather, you might want to consider that. But the thing is, house prices and rent is lower in the northern part. So as you come south, house rent and cost of living, increases as well. So you want to figure that out. For anybody coming to the UK, I know a lot of people have this perspective about UK. If you consider that we come in on visa for 5 years, but you can also have your ILR in the 5th year and citizenship in 1 year, which makes it a total of 6 years. Also, look at the growth in NHS. If that is what you really want to, you can become a specialist nurse. You really don't have to have a master's to become that. Just, you having that experience and determination to grow, and before you know it, you become a practitioner and all that. And also, a lot of people just use UK, because it's very easy to come to. I know it's becoming harder now, but when I came in, I wrote my IELTS in January of that year, and by June, I was ready to come to the UK. So, and and I wasn't even ready. I'm not the type that was like, okay, I want to come. So, and that is how pretty fast it could be. So even if you are getting rejection messages from the trust these days, you just have to make sure you are not sending the same CV and cover letter to every employer. On my channel, we talk about things like this, and we are even able to support nurses in terms of, we have experience and we can look at all those things where we can help. So I would say UK is fantastic. It opens up a vast majority of opportunity onto you, and you don't want to hold back.
Thank you so much, Noskita.
The
Okay,
weather
so
now is 26%. He said 6, so I'm just trying to say.
okay, so me for Australia, hey, the weather is sweet. Like, it depends on the state anyway. So where I am, I'm in New South Wales, Sydney. The weather here is very hot right now. We do have summer, we do have winter, we do have autumn, we do have fall. We have all those 4 seasons here. But majority of the time, we can have 9 months summer in Australia. Okay, it's very hot. Even when it's like spring, it's still like hot for me. Like, people will think that it's a bit chilly, but for me, I feel it's very hot. Coming from the UK anyways, I feel like it's very okay. And then the winter months are also cold, can go as cold as like 6 degrees. That will be the maybe 6 degrees will be the like least you will get in New South Wales. Yeah, basically, but it does rain a lot as well. Here and Melbourne rains a lot. But if you want the snow, you can have snow in Australia too, but it will be like the Tasmania area, up the mountain and all that. That's where you can find snow. My own advice is come. Okay, me personally, I would tell anybody I want to come to Australia, like Australia is one of the best. I feel like it has the balance of many countries. You have the work-life balance, you have the benefit, you have the money. Not Success says, if you want to go into travel nursing here in Australia, so it pays a lot. I spoke with my friend that does travel nursing. She's a mental health nurse and she can max 15,000 a month. Like, it's that good. So you have the balance here in Australia. So if you really want to come. Me, the only regret I have is not coming sooner. Okay. And if I'm to leave Australia now to any country, I don't have any plans to leave because I'm already a permanent resident here. But if ever I will change my mind, I'll go to Switzerland. Okay. So yeah, that's it. That's it for me. If we have time, we can answer a question. Otherwise, we can call it a day. What do you guys think? We can call it a day now.
I'm checking the chat. I don't think there's any question for me. They only asked if I have a Facebook page. I think I should open one. Ozio, come
You should message me.
I'm coming to your DM.
Yeah, sure.
So when I open one, I'll let you know. But I do have a YouTube channel, and she said she's gonna post it. But for context, it's just my full name, Success Umesiri.
Okay. And Nospita also has a YouTube channel. Yeah, I'm going to. What?
Peter Olubayo.
Yeah, I'm going to post all your links under the YouTube comment section. Okay. So probably we'll call it a day. Guys, thank you so much for coming and watching. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Nospita, let's see. Bye, guys.
Bye.